Good evening and welcome to St. Francis in Joliet, Illinois, the site of tonight's matchup between the Lewis University Flyers and the St. Francis Fighting Saints. It's a non-conference matchup, but an annual rivalry between a couple of crosstown foes. Lewis coming in from Romeoville for tonight's doubleheader. The women come first, and then the men's game to follow at 7 o'clock. Terry Bonadonna with you for the next couple hours of basketball. Saints in gold, Flyers in black on the court right now. St. Francis will be going from right to left. They've got Jordan Pyle against Morgan Glockchick on the opening tip, and it's won by Glockchick and Lewis going from left to right. Stephanie Hart picks it up for the Flyers. She's joined in the backcourt today by Caitlin Williams and Deja Black. The forwards are Morgan Glockchick and Rachel Hinders. Lewis today tries to pick up their third consecutive victory against St. Francis. Glockchick nails a three-pointer from the left side, and Lewis is off to a solid start. Glockchick, 6'3" tall center for Lewis University this year, but she can stroke it from the outside. That's her sixth made three-pointer this season in 16 attempts as Jordan Pyle is called for the travel. Pyle is in the front court with Paige Gieske and Caitlin Elward. The guards for the Saints are Leah Sims and Shadrian McDaniel. Something you don't see very often when an NAIA team faces a Division II school, an NCAA Division II. Saints at most positions actually do have the size advantage today. Caitlin Elward tries to come up with a stop on Hinders, and Hinders comes up short, but it's an offensive rebound. Lewis will try it again. They lead 3-0, exactly 1 minute into the action. This is Deja Black dribbling it up towards the top of the court, now picked up by Elward. She dribbles to the left, hands it off, three-point attempt. Caitlin Williams is good. It's 6-0 Lewis. On the strength of a pair of three-pointers, Lewis is off to an outstanding start this evening. And now it's St. Francis's turn. They came up with a traveling violation in their first possession. Looking to get their first shot off today, and there it is. Caitlin Elward lets fly a three, but it's off to the right, and we're going the other way. Flyers trying to run. Deja Black floater is good. 8-0 for Lewis. And here are the Fighting Saints. Jordan Pyle off to Caitlin Elward, the team's leading scorer. Elward drives, kicks outside. McDaniel for three, way off. Saints 0 for 2 from the outside so far. Here's Hartz, giving it up to Glockchick. Lob down low. Hinders blocked from behind by Paige Gieske. And last touched apparently by Lewis, so we're going the other way. Good defense by Caitlin Elward. Paige Gieske came in with the late help and forced the miss. So Lewis, for the first time today, comes up empty on an offensive possession, and now St. Francis tries for their first field goal of the game. 8-0 they trail as Paige Gieske dribbles to the left and bounces low to Elward. Elward blocked underneath by Glockchick, gets her own rebound. Caitlin Elward pulls it outside, now dribbles, spins. Nice move to the left, blocked again. Glockchick blocks her twice on the same possession. Quickly the other way, Caitlin Williams is blocked but fouled by Paige Gieske. Clean block up top from Gieske, but gave a little shove with the offhand, and it's a foul that sends Caitlin Williams to the free throw line for 2 shots. Already 8-0 in favor of the Flyers, and now they've got a chance to extend their lead to double digits just 2.5 minutes in, as the first free throw is good. Lewis has been shooting lights out in the early going. Came into today with a 44% field goal rate for the year. And the Saints have not had any answers for the early Lewis attack. This is one of the best defenses in the NAIA, but being carved up early on by a higher division squad. Gieske bounces to the baseline. It's Caitlin Elward who backs it out. Elward being guarded by Glockchick, who stands about 3 inches taller than the St. Francis star. Jordan Pyle on the left side drives, puts it up, off the front iron, no, tries to battle for her own rebound, but comes up short. Lewis takes it the other way. Williams, open look from the outside. That's off. Knocked out of bounds by Lewis. Stephanie Hart was the last one to touch it. So the Flyers are unable to score this time down the floor. They still lead by 10 as St. Francis takes their possession. Fighting Saints 8-2 overall in the season, 6-0 in conference play. Ranked number 8 in the country. Both of their losses have come against top 10 opponents in the NAIA Division II level. Here's Shadrian McDaniel in the corner. McDaniel drives the baseline, and she's bumped before the shot. Saints will inbound it from the baseline. First foul called on Lewis. Goes against the senior Deja Black. Subs come in for Samantha Quigley-Smith's Lewis Flyers as Black and Glockchick take a seat. There's Gieske along the baseline. Gieske kicks it out to Jordan Pyle. Deep three-pointer is good. Jordan Pyle gets the Saints on the board. And they trail by 7. Katie Gardner is in for Lewis, as is Riley Olmstead. Olmstead had a huge game against the Saints last year in Romeoville. This is Stephanie Hart, stopped in the paint. She has to kick it back outside. 11 on the shot clock as Hart gets Alward in the air. Pass deflected by Pyle, but picked up. 5 seconds to shoot. In some trouble. Here's Olmstead with 1 to shoot. Olmstead fires one up. It's an air ball. Shot clock violation. Great defensive set right there by the Fighting Saints. 5:50 to play, first quarter. St. Francis has captured a little bit of momentum with a good offensive possession followed by good defense. Now McDaniel is blocked and a foul called as she battles for the rebound. Foul on Lewis, so it'll stay with St. Francis despite the miss from McDaniel. Riley Olmstead whistled for her first, the team's second, and McDaniel is the trigger man on the inbounds play. McDaniel finally finds Paige Gieske near the top of the key. Gieske backs down into the key. Passes outside to Pyle. Pyle bounces low for Alward, who struggles for position, pulls it in, throws up an errant shot amidst a double team. Well defended by Rachel Hinders, particularly there. Now an open look. 3-point attempt for Olmstead. Well off. Rebounded by Gieske. Both team shooters have gone cold. Alward on the left wing looking for her first points of the game. She misses the 3-pointer. Alward 0 of 5 shooting here in the first quarter. Entered play today shooting 52% for the season. Going against a tough defense today though, and Lewis has certainly made her work. Alward now making Lewis work. Williams gets it off to Olmstead. Drive and the runner misses short from Caitlin Williams. And a whistle blows. St. Francis basketball on the possession arrow. Subs coming in for Lewis once again and for St. Francis as well. Allie Hernandez gets her first appearance, playing against her old coach, Samantha Quigley-Smith today. One of the few left on the roster that Sam Quigley recruited a couple of years ago as Pyle throws it away out of bounds. For Lewis, Morgan Glockchick came back into the game. So did Deja Black. This is Katie Gardner back outside the Black. Black bounces low for Gardner, turned away by Jordan Pyle. Good defense by the sophomore from Australia. Here come the Saints. Alward pulls up, passes out. Pyle for 3, in and out. A Jordan Pyle 3-pointer, the only points possessed by St. Francis today. But Lewis has not been able to pull away as they've gone now 3.5 minutes without scoring. Deja Black holds it outside, now passes off to her left. Lob down low for Black. Black going against Pyle, stepped out of bounds. A turnover committed by the Flyers. Substitution for Lewis, Grace Hilber is into the contest. Subs for St. Francis, just one sub. Adriana Acosta, fresh off of an impressive double-double against Judson on Saturday, makes her first appearance of today's game. Saints are only down by 7. And it's going to stay at 7 as Jordan Pyle throws it away for the second straight possession. That time she was looking low for Acosta. And Acosta is trying to back inside. The pass went a little too far outside for her. It bounces out of bounds. Lewis ball. Hilber passes to Olmstead. Around the screen from Gardner. Poked away by Alward, and now it's one-on-one going to the hoop. Caitlin Alward lays it up, misses. Rebound Acosta. She saves it from going out of bounds. Good hustle by Acosta. Good defense from Caitlin Alward. Sets up Leah Sims's three. It's short. Rebound tapped around. Alward brings it in. Alward back up. No. Rebound Gardner. Alward 0 of 7 from the field in the first quarter. Nearly 7 minutes into the action. 7-point lead Lewis. Gardner hands it off. This is Olmstead on the drive and kick out to Deja Black. Black cuts down the lane. Layup from the right side misses. Another rebound for Acosta. Saints are on the move. Alward, left side, three-pointer. There it goes. Caitlin Alward makes it a 4-point game. Struggling from the field early on, but Alward caught that one, shot it in stride, and had a good look at making this just a 4-point deficit. And now Lewis going on 5 minutes without a point. Hilberg up top to Black. Blackchick on the left wing, hounded by Pyle. Down low Hilbert, turnaround jumper is good from about 7 feet out. Lewis needed that bucket after a 10-0 start to the game. They went more than 5 minutes without scoring, but now finally back on the board. Ali Hernandez misses on the three. Rebound goes to the free throw line where Gardner pulls it in. Hilbert on the drive with the right hand. A foul is called on the defense. 2:03 to play first quarter. 6-point lead for the Lewis Flyers. Flyers have won 41 of the 50 all-time meetings between these two. Last time St. Francis won, a decisive victory against a ranked Lewis team as Alward knocks it out of bounds. It'll stay with Lewis. It's a few years ago, 3 years ago to be exact, when Samantha Quigley-Smith was still coaching in this building. She's coaching in this building today too, technically, but coaching for the visitors as Deja Black frees herself up inside and scores on a short jumper. Nice ball handling by Deja Black. Ended up with an open shot. And the lead is back up to 8 for Lewis. The game high has been 10. Saints are searching for offense anywhere they can get it. Nearly 9 minutes into the game, they've hit just 2 shots. Leah Sims drives, open layup. Leah Sims scores. Good ball work on both sides. Sims hesitated and just blew right by 2 defenders. An easy path to the basket from there. And the Saints have their first 2-point field goal of the game. Olmstead around a couple of defenders, and she scores on the runner. Good crossover to split the D there, and all of a sudden we've got some offense in this game. Both sides going back and forth. Howard drives around Glockchick, pulls up underneath the basket, passes back out to Sims. Sims crossover to the right, pass outside Pyle. She fakes, drives, passes out. 3-point attempt, Sims off the back iron, no, and the rebound goes to Glockchick. Final minute of the quarter, it's Deja Black. Black cuts to the hoop, picked up by Alward, throws it away, ball deflected, and intercepted by Andriana Acosta. Plenty of time for the Fighting Saints. 15 seconds between the shot and game clock. Doesn't look like they'll have a chance at a 2-for-1 here as Alward drives, bounces out to Ali Hernandez, and Hernandez pulls it beyond the perimeter. 10 to shoot. Alward takes that shot right now. Off the mark on the 3 ball, and it's rebounded by Grace Hilbert. 8-point lead for Lewis. They can take the final shot of the first period. They've led by as many as 10 here in the first. Trying to get it back to 10. Olmstead misses short. Rebound Alward. Saints have plenty of time. 6 seconds here. Leah Sims. Sims at the top. Step back. 3-pointer. No. Rebound tapped out to Lewis. It's brought in by Rachel Hinders. And the first quarter is over. Great start for Lewis. They slowed down. Saints picked it up a little bit, but rough shooting quarter for St. Francis. So they trail by 8 at the end of 1. I'll step aside for a brief moment. Back in less than a minute with quarter number 2. 16-8, Lewis on top of St. Francis. in the second quarter, or at least very nearly so. After 10 minutes of basketball, our score is 16-8 in favor of the Flyers from Lewis, just about 10 minutes down the road from here. St. Francis and Lewis in their annual showdown. Last year, Lewis won big, a 27-point victory over the Fighting Saints. And so St. Francis looking for the revenge here today. Got off to a slow start, but thanks to some excellent defense, they were able to keep it close. As we begin the second period, Lewis is in possession of the basketball. Lewis scored the first 10 points of the game. Since then, St. Francis has outscored them 8-6. Rachel Hinders tries to put a stop to that, but misses on the three as it bounces off the rim and over the backboard. Out of bounds for a St. Francis possession. Missed shot on the first chance for Lewis in the second quarter. They made their first couple of three-point attempts in the first. Now the Saints look for an answer here early in the second quarter. Pull within 2 possessions. It doesn't happen as Shadrian McDaniel travels. Saints have made a lot of unforced errors. They've not shot the ball well early on, and that's in large part due to the Lewis defense and how tight it's been. Deja Black gets to the hoop and lays it in. Beautiful drive from Deja Black. 18-8. Lewis matches their largest lead at 10. Point about St. Francis, though, is that one's deflected out of bounds by Black. You expect some missed shots against a very tough defense, but they've shot themselves in the foot a few too many times. They can't afford all the unforced turnovers that they've had so far. Shadrian McDaniel bounces once and gives it up to Elward. Kaylin Elward takes a couple of dribbles, hands it off to Paige Gieske. Now right side McDaniel. Shadrian McDaniel, good drive along the baseline. Reverse layup is good. Shadrian McDaniel's been pretty impressive so far. It's her first bucket. She's moved the ball well on offense, though. Turnaround, a drive, and a score from Stephanie Hart, banking it in from a couple of feet out. Lewis again by 10. McDaniel on the right side for the Saints. Paige Gieske, left wing. Bounces to the top of the key, and Acosta. Right back to Gieske. Paige Gieske has not yet taken a shot. Shadrian McDaniel with 7 on the shot clock. Gets inside the paint, step back jumper from just inside the free throw line, no good. Acosta wins the fight for the rebound. Strong board from Acosta. Gieske on the right side, fires down low for Acosta. Backing in, up with the right hand, too hard off the glass, trying to score over Madison Mallory. An offensive rebound for the Saints. They'll get their third chance of this possession. Gieske, corner three. It's good. Good fight from the Saints on that possession. 3 times they tried, and finally, on the third effort, they get the points. Third three-pointer connected on today by the Fighting Saints. Quickly on the other end, Hinders has the ball knocked out of her hands. Gets it back. Lewis still in possession. 11 to shoot, lobbed low for Hinders. Hinders at an awkward angle, misses the rim, but a loose ball foul called on Paige Gieske, working against Deja Black for the rebound. Black ended up with the ball in her hands anyway, but she also got a shove from Gieske. That's the second on Gieske. First on the Fighting Saints here in the second as Jordan Pyle quickly hops off the bench, likely to come in for Gieske at the next whistle. It's Caitlin Williams bouncing it in for Hinders. Right back to Williams. Williams blocked, but a foul called. Foul on Caitlin Elward. That's her first. It's the second on the team. 7:17 to play in the half. Pyle does indeed check in for Gieske, who hit that three-pointer a few moments ago. 2 free throws coming up for Williams. 75% foul shooter for the season. Williams connects on the first. Kaylin Williams, a transfer from Loyola University. Came back close to home. She's from Joliet, now playing ball in Romeoville. And she makes the second free throw. She's 4 of 4 from the line today, and she's got a game-high 7 points. Kaylin Elward for the Fighting Saints, who look to answer. Off to Jordan Pyle, bounce down low. Acosta working against Black. She's fouled. And Acosta's got a pair of free throws coming her way. Acosta's been aggressively looking for her shot early in the game. Very good foul shooter, heads to the line for 2. Second foul on Deja Black, so now each team has a player with 2. And Acosta makes the first free throw. She's hitting them at an 85% clip for the season. Misses on the second free throw. 22-14, Lewis on top with the ball, just under 7 minutes to play in the first half. Caitlin Williams drives, bounces for Hinders, and Hinders scores from underneath the hoop. Good ball movement by Lewis. Their lead is back to 10. It's been 10 a number of times, never more than. Started out 10-0. Here's Shadrian McDaniel. Dribbling towards the top, spinning around one defender, dropping it off underneath for Acosta, who is able to keep the ball in bounds. Alward on the outside, gives it to Pyle. Down low, Acosta again, good fake, and she scores. Acosta has been one of the offensive stars. Grabbed a couple of offensive boards, and now she's got 3 points to go along with them. Saints are within 8. Hinders makes it 10 and a chance for 11 as Acosta came over a little bit late and got called for the foul. First foul on Acosta. Free throw now for Hinders. Flyers leading scorer on the season, shooting 88% from the line. And she makes this one. Lewis perfect from the free throw stripe today. And they've got their biggest lead of the game so far now, 27-16. Leah Sims walks it down for the Saints and passes off to Jordan Pyle. Pyle gets the screen, kicks it outside. McDaniel. Back to Leah Sims, deep 3. It's short and out of bounds. Saints have settled for a lot of long-range shots. They've hit 3 3-pointers here in the first half, but haven't hit them at a high enough percentage to keep themselves close in the early going here. Still in striking range, down by 11. Williams tries to distance it and does. It's a 14-point lead for Lewis. As Caitlin Williams hits the 3, timeout called by Steve Brooks and the Fighting Saints. Caitlin Williams has 10 points, already above her season average, which was 9 coming in. Williams is in her second year with Lewis after transferring over from Loyola. She was teammates back in high school with Adriana Acosta at Joliet Catholic Academy. Actually, one of the assistant coaches on that staff was Samantha Quigley's brother Ryan, who's a coach at Joliet Catholic, and Samantha Quigley, of course, the head coach at Lewis, the former head coach here at St. Francis. And in case you didn't notice it on the floor, Pat Quigley Court is where everybody's playing. So it's a family affair. Pat Quigley, the father of Samantha Quigley Smith. Court was named after him about 15 years ago now. And so this is a rivalry, of course, that's gone on not just in basketball, but across the athletic spectrum for many years, St. Francis and Lewis. But, you know, for Samantha Quigley Smith, it has even extra meaning added to it now that she has coached on both sides of this Lewis and St. Francis tradition. Mentioned before, she was the last St. Francis coach to beat Lewis 3 years ago. It was a decisive victory. Since then, though, Lewis has handled St. Francis pretty handily since Sam Quigley Smith went across town over to Romeoville. But Steve Brooks, as coach of the Fighting Saints, his staple has been defense. And right now, Lewis has built up a big lead on their offense. They found a few too many open shots. Shadrian McDaniel kicks it outside. It's Kaylin Ciaschini into the game. First time she's seen action today as Caitlin Alward misses on the three-pointer, and the rebound goes to the Flyers. 14-point lead for Lewis. Into the corner, another open look. Three-pointer is an air ball missed by Riley Olmstead. And here come the Saints. Ciaschini pushing the pace. Misses on the layup, rebound McDaniel. And she is fouled on the floor. Kaylin Ciaschini flew to the hoop there. She almost seemed surprised. Nobody ever really picked her up. And she had a wide open layup, but missed it. She short-armed it again, I think, half expecting somebody to come over and challenge her, which never happened. Good work underneath by Caitlin Aylward. Aylward from the post is able to get her second bucket of the game. She's got 5 points, and the deficit is 12. Williams on the outside for Lewis. Dribbles to the right. Lob down low. Pass deflected. Hinders gets it back, though. Williams for three. It's good. 13 points for Caitlin Williams. 33-18 is the score. And Williams is the leader of all scorers now. She's hit back-to-back three-pointers. Caitlin Aylward drives with the right hand. Up with the floater. She misses. Battles for her own rebound and tips it out to C.S. Cheney, who travels. C.S. Cheney had a good lane there set up for her, but she just shuffled the feet before she could take advantage. For the first time today, Caitlin Aylward takes a seat for St. Francis. She's replaced by Lacey Gardner. Gardner's coming off of her best game of the season. She had 13 points in a blowout win against Judson on Saturday. Stephanie Hart passes it outside. Now Grace Hilbert hands it back to Williams. Under 4 minutes to play in the half. Three-point attempt for Gardner, no good. It's Katie Gardner. Gardner on both sides now. Katie Gardner for Lewis. Lacey Gardner for St. Francis. Spelled the same way. Gardner. Shot clock's at 13 for Kaylin C.S. Cheney. Around the screen, cuts inside, passes out to an open shooter. McDaniel misses on the three. And a rebound ricochets towards the sideline where Grace Hilbert keeps it in. Good defense by McDaniel, applying the pressure to Hilbert all the way down, but Hilbert gets across the timeline. Passes out to an open shooter. Three-pointer, rattles around, misses from Williams. And the rebound is tipped out to Jordan Pyle. Here come the Saints down by 15. Pyle off to Acosta. Fakes left, drives right, gets underneath and lays it in. Good drive from the redshirt junior. 33-20 is Lewis's lead with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Good cut from Grace Hilbert, but blocked from behind by Lacey Gardner. Hilbert, great job throwing it off of Gardner before it goes out of bounds. A great block from St. Francis's junior transfer center, but not able to seal the deal as it was knocked out of bounds off of the St. Francis center. Heads up play by Hilbert. Lewis keeps it with 16 to shoot. Into Katie Gardner. Gardner passes outside to Caitlin Williams. Williams starts to drive, now kicks it into the corner. Gardner for three, off the mark, rebound Pyle. Saints trying to go on a little run right now. Something they haven't been able to do yet. Allie Hernandez out to Acosta. Shovels it right back to Hernandez. Jordan Pyle dribbles once, passes left to Shadrian McDaniel. Back up top, Pyle. Shot clock under 10. It's Allie Hernandez circling the perimeter, firing into the corner. Acosta long two, off the mark. Rebounded by Lewis. Saints went on that great defensive run in the first quarter. They held Lewis without a point for 5 minutes as Hilbert's scoop shot is good. Pretty maneuver by Grace Hilbert. St. Francis just has not been able to go on an offensive run yet in the game. They need to string together 6 or 8 points in a row. Give themselves a fighting chance in the second half as Acosta passes up top to Shadrian McDaniel. McDaniel nearly had the ball stripped, gets around Williams, gets to the hoop, lays it up and in. Shadrian McDaniel was able to shake loose of the defender, the over-aggressive defender, and is able to get herself to the hoop. 13-point game once again. This is Williams around a screen, steps to the right wing, three-pointer misses, and Acosta in good position once again, grabs another rebound. Just over a minute to play in the first half. Saints trying to go into the intermission strong. Allie Hernandez holds the ball on the right wing, guarded by Grace Hilbert. She passes to Gardner as the Saints work it around the perimeter. Trying to get some side-to-side action going. Shadrian McDaniel looks for help. 9 to shoot. Given up to Allie Hernandez. Hernandez drives, kicks, corner three, Pyle, no. Rebound punched by Acosta out to McDaniel. Saints get another chance. The aggressiveness on the offensive glass of Adriana Acosta helping to keep St. Francis in the game. 8 to shoot now. Pile out to Shadreen McDaniel. McDaniel down the baseline, stripped out of bounds. Last touch by McDaniel. 37 seconds on the second quarter clock. It goes back to Lewis. Madison Mallory back in for the Flyers, along with Rachel Hinders and Deja Black. This will likely be the last possession for Lewis in this half, and it'll come after a timeout. Timeout with 32.4 showing on the clock. 35-22. Lewis has the lead. Lewis jumped out to a quick 10-0 advantage. And they have led ever since, mostly by double figures. The Saints didn't let them pull away early. After going behind 10-0, that's when their defense really kicked in. Held Lewis without a point for more than 5 minutes. Kept themselves alive in the game, eventually cutting the deficit down to 6. But they haven't been able to get the offense going consistently so far in this first half at just 22 points so far. The Saints came in averaging 70 per game. Haven't been quite as strong in non-conference action. They've been really good overall against CCAC opponents. They're averaging just 58 points total in non-conference games. Lob down low, knocked away by Rexisha Hollis. The ball is loose on the floor. Acosta tries to keep it in and does. Great work by Hollis, just in off the bench. And a strong aggressive play by Acosta as well. The Saints have a chance for the last shot of the half. They can cut it down to 10 or 11 going into the break. This is Kaylin C.S. Cheney crossing over to the left, driving, kicking into the corner, long to Acosta. No. Rebound is loose, knocked towards the sideline. It doesn't matter who touched it last because the buzzer has sounded. It's halftime here in Joliet. Lewis 35, St. Francis 22. 20 minutes of basketball still to play, and we'll have all of it for you in about 15 minutes. Right now, I'm going to step aside with Lewis ahead by 13. St. Francis basketball against the Flyers of Lewis here on the USF Sports Network. Third quarter right around the corner here at Pat Quigley Court, Pat Sullivan Center on the campus of the University of St. Francis. Terry Bonadonna with you once again as the Saints trail the Lewis University Flyers by a 35-22 count after 20 minutes of basketball. Let's take a look at some of the first half stats. Shooting percentage highly in Lewis's favor, 13 of 30 in the first half, 43%. Saints shot just 27%, 9 of 33. They got off to a disastrous start from the field, just 3 of 17 in the first quarter. They're just 3 of 15 on three-pointers so far today, and that's been their biggest undoing. They haven't turned the ball over too much, just 6 times, but Lewis has 5 points off those turnovers. The Saints have not scored on Lewis's 4 turnovers. Individual leaders, Caitlin Aylward and Andriana Acosta, are tied for the team high for St. Francis with 5 points each. Acosta's chipped in 5 rebounds, 4 for Aylward. For Lewis, Caitlin Williams is the leading scorer, 13 points, 3 of 6 on three-pointers, 4 of 4 from the line. Morgan Glockchick has 4 rebounds, and Deja Black leads the way with 3 assists to go along with her 6 points. Big problem for St. Francis has been the shooting. Well, their star player, Caitlin Aylward, who entered play today shooting 52% for the season, just 2 of 11 so far today. If they're going to make a comeback, they've got to get that in order here in the second half. They're going to need to see a little bit more from Caitlin Aylward, maybe more from Paige Gieske as well. She gives it up to Jordan Pyle, who passes off into the corner to Shadrian McDaniel. Gieske was on the bench for most of the first half in foul trouble. Back out there now along with the rest of the starters. Leah Sims, little scoop shot misses. Good drive. Couldn't quite finish. Now Lewis will try to strike first here in the second half. Flyers led for the entire first half. They scored on their first possession. Led 10-0 at one point, and their lead eventually rose as high as 15. Down low, a block by Jordan Pyle, but a foul call. This is going to send Rachel Hinders to the free throw line.
St. Francis foul number 30.
Jordan Pyle played pretty well in the first half. 3 points, a couple of assists, a couple of rebounds, and a block. Filling the stat sheet as usual, but she picks up her first foul here, and Hinders turns it into at least 1 point as she makes the first free throw. 2 of 2 from the line. Lead is back to 15 for Lewis. That matches a game high for the visiting Flyers. Again, they beat St. Francis by 27 in their meeting last December. Played on New Year's Eve. Caitlin Aylward outside, guarded by the center for Lewis, Glockchick. Paige Gieske on the outside, off to Shadrian McDaniel on the left wing. McDaniel starts to drive, backing in on Deja Black, puts it up and in. Good body control, Shadrian McDaniel able to force up a good shot. And she's got 6 points now to lead the team. McDaniel, sophomore forward, entered play today with a season high of 9 points, trying to get to double figures today for the first time this year. She's on pace to exceed that number. 13-point lead for Lewis. They've got the ball with 4 on the shot clock. Deja Black to the right side, fires it down low, and the shot clock expires. Second time today that St. Francis has forced a shot clock violation. The defense has been good for the Fighting Saints by and large. They're looking for a little bit more offense right now. Paige Gieske walks it up, guarded loosely by Caitlin Williams. Here's Jordan Pyle on the right wing, gets the screen, cuts down the lane, passes outside to Sims, into the corner. Gieske for 3. She puts it up short. Rebound to Caitlin Williams, and Williams slows down across half court with Shadrian McDaniel in tow. Williams picks up her dribble, throws it off to Glockchick, through her hands and out of bounds. Saints force the turnover. And now once again, the defense has come up big. Can the offense respond and keep the momentum on the side of the home team? Leah Sims backs it up and now starts to make her move with 23 on the shot clock. Aylward at the free throw line. Hands it off to Pyle, coming around to the right side. She passes to Leah Sims. Sims works it back to the left side. 3-point attempt to Aylward. That misses. Aylward now just 1 of 6 from beyond the arc. She's 1 of 6 on 2-point attempts as well. Lewis's defense has done good work on her all throughout the game. Deja Black inside to Hinder, off the glass and in with the right hand. Rachel Hinders has 9 points now. Her first bucket of the second half. She's just 3 of 7 shooting today, but she has been involved in a lot of the action. Alward drives, stopped by Glockchik, has to give it up to Jordan Pyle. Shot clock more than half gone. It's Leah Sims out to Alward. Alward cuts in, spins to the lane and lays it in. Beautiful drive that time by Caitlin Alward. Saints are holding serve with Lewis right now. It was a 13-point game of the half. 13 right now, just over 3 minutes into the second half as St. Francis comes away with a steal. Alward forced the bad pass. Jordan Pyle came away with the takeaway. Now McDaniel blocked by Deja Black, but she's fouled. Shadrian McDaniel will get a pair of free throws. Third foul on Deja Black, so Samantha Quigley-Smith has to pull her back to the bench. Grace Hilber is in, as is Madison Mallory. Riley Olmstead also back in the game for the Flyers. McDaniel makes her first free throw. Give the free throw edge to Lewis in the first half as well, 5 of 5. Saints were just 1 of 2. And now they're just 2 of 4, but an offensive rebound for Caitlin Alward. So Lewis has a +5 from the foul stripe, but St. Francis trying for some second chance points here. They do have the edge in that category. Alward fakes to the right, goes to the left, misses, gets her own rebound. Shot clock did not reset. That's okay. She had time to put it up and in on the second chance. Caitlin Alward starting to heat up a little bit. She's got 9 points. The deficit is just 10, and now it's 13. Grace Hilber, a quick 3. Put St. Francis back in check after they had started to make a run. They went with 5 consecutive points. Now back behind by 13. Alward out to Leah Sims. Sims spins into the paint, kicks it outside. Gieske wanted the 3, drives on Olmstead instead, and puts it up off the bottom of the backboard. Got in a little bit too deep. Here's Olmstead for 3. That's good. 2 straight 3-pointers for Lewis. And after St. Francis had cut the lead down to 10, Lewis, in the blink of an eye, pushes it up to 16, their biggest of the game. Gieske up to McDaniel. Saints trying to find a spark on offense here. It's Acosta on the drive to the left. Off the glass, no. Fight for the rebound, knocked out of bounds, and a foul called on the floor on Lewis. A loose ball foul on the Flyers. It's on Madison Mallory, and that's her first. It's the team's second foul. Neither side has yet been in the bonus today. It's been a pretty clean game as far as fouls are concerned. McDaniel needs some help. Finally finds Gieske cutting the basket, and Gieske lays it in. Looked like disaster for a quick moment, but that turned around in a hurry as Gieske found a good cut and hit on the layup. Now Olmstead another 3. That's 2 in a row for her. The Flyers are getting wide open shots, and they are hitting them. 3 straight 3-pointers for Lewis. Their lead is up to 17. Olmstead now has 8 points. Gieske trying to answer with a 3 of her own. No good. Rebound Acosta. Acosta dribbles under the basket, throws it off the back of Hinder, and we're going the other way. A foul is called on St. Francis. Acosta got in some trouble, tried to throw it outside, but it hit off the back of Rachel Hinders. And an easy takeaway for Lewis leads to a frustration foul on the other end. Foul called on Gieske, and that's her third. 2 free throws coming up for the Flyers, who have not missed from the line yet tonight. 7 of 7. 8 of 8 as Hilber makes her first. 49-31. Lewis pulling away here in the third quarter. They've gone an 11-2 run, and they've done it in under 2 minutes of game time. Acosta trying to hand it to McDaniel, coming around. Now she does give it to McDaniel, going back to the left. McDaniel backs in, pulls up in the paint. Turnaround jumper misses. Rebound to Caitlin Williams. Williams kicks it to the left side, and travel called on Olmsted. Riley Olmsted got some happy feet there. St. Francis takes possession on the Lewis turnover. 3:59 to play in the third quarter. Allie Hernandez is in for Shadrian McDaniel. Saints have ridden their starters pretty much the whole way so far. Should be well rested considering they've only had one game in the last 12 days. They beat Judson by more than 50 on Saturday, so they had the reserves in most of the time. Gieske freed up for an open three, left side, rattles it home. A much-needed three-pointer for St. Francis, and for Gieske, that's now 8 points in the game. Down low for Hinders. Hinders around Acosta is fouled. Foul called on Acosta, her second. Hinders back to the free throw line, where she has not yet missed today, where the Flyers have not yet missed today. Hinders is 3 of 3, an 88% shooter on the year. And she makes this one as well. .51-34. Second shot on the money. 52-34 Lewis. 3:20 to play in the third quarter. Here's Andriana Acosta up top to Caitlin Elward. Right side, it's Gieske. Back up top, Elward lobs it down low for Acosta, pulls it down, one bounce, up and in. Acosta's had a really nice game today. She's got a chance at her second consecutive double-double, 7 points now. Right around that number on the rebound charts as well. Jordan Pyle jumps in for the steal, taking a pass away. Pyle gives it up to Elward. Elward drives from the right side, spins around one defender and draws the foul. She got around Olmsted, but Olmsted was called for the foul. Carly Graverson came in as well late on that play, trying for the help. Her help, though, was not needed. The whistle blew before she got there. Olmsted called for her third foul. Elward makes the first free throw. Lewis went on an 11-2 run to pull away here in the third quarter as Elward makes just 1 of 2, but Acosta battles for the rebound. Fighting Saints now have scored 6 of the last 8 points. Acosta drives, kicks, corner three, Pyle, good. Timeout called by Lewis, 52-40. After the 11-2 run for Lewis, St. Francis has responded. They've scored 9 of the last 11, and the Saints have made a game of it once again. It's a full timeout called by Lewis, 2.5 minutes to play. Third quarter, 12-point game, and that's about where it's been most of the night. Lewis jumped out to a 10-0 lead, and the Saints have been as close as 6 since then. Lewis was up by about 10 to 15 points, somewhere in that range, for most of the first half, and early on in this third quarter as well, before going on that big run just a couple of minutes ago. And the Saints have not been able to get much closer than this, but they have not allowed Lewis to pull away, and the Fighting Saints certainly deserve credit for that, going up against a Division II school and one like Lewis that's had a lot of recent success. They played in the national tournament last year in Samantha Quigley-Smith's second season with the program. She's had a good start to her career at Lewis. She had a great career here at St. Francis, 5 seasons as the head coach. She went 101-62, including a 34-2 record in her final season as head coach 3 years ago. She's got Lewis this year at 4-4. They're 1-0 in conference. And this game, whatever happens, is not going to have a lot of impact on the standings for these two teams. It's a cross-divisional game. So a win for Lewis would be nice, obviously, but it's not a make or break for their season. And St. Francis ends up falling. They go right back to the drawing board. Doesn't count for as much. But both teams want to show well against their rival. And both teams are trying to get on a roll overall for the season as well. Shadrian McDaniel is called for a quick foul out of the timeout. It's her first foul. It's the team's fourth. The next one will put Lewis to the free throw line. High-low game. Glockchick has a three-pointer. Grazes the side of the rim, and it's knocked out of bounds off of Acosta. Heads up play by Caitlin Williams, knocking it off the Saints. It stays with Lewis. Good defensive possession out of the timeout for St. Francis. Forced a bad three-pointer for the Flyers, but they end up getting a second chance as the ball went out of bounds, and they score on their second chance. Glockchick in perfect position and an easy bucket after receiving the inbounds pass. That's Glockchick's first field goal since the first minute of the game. She scored the first three of the night. 54-40. Lewis on top. Paige Gieske backing in. Gieske turns around, well defended. She gives it up to Shadrian McDaniel. McDaniel backs inside, double teamed, and she's fouled. That's the fourth foul called against Lewis. Kaylin Williams called for her first. Ellie Hernandez is in for McDaniel on the Saints side. Minute 45 to play in the third quarter. Saints are hanging around. They're going to have to make a run at some point, though, probably soon. Into Alward. She drives on Glockchick, throws it up off the backboard, too hard. Rebounded by Riley Olmstead. Olmstead picks up her dribble. Acosta puts the pressure on. She gives it up to Williams. Down low for Hinders, an easy layup. Jordan Pyle got caught drifting too far up, and Hinders left all alone underneath the hoop. 56-40 is our score, approaching the final minute of the third. Acosta on the left side, gets the screen, doesn't use it, dribbles to the right instead, kicks it out to Hernandez for three. Off the mark. Rebounded by Caitlin Williams. Right after the Saints made a run to get themselves back into it, Lewis has put down the clamps. And they've had a couple of easy buckets their last two offensive possessions. Shot clock at 10 for Riley Olmstead. Pull up, two-point jumper. No. Rebound Elward. 10 seconds differentiate the shot and game clocks here. Caitlin Elward backs in. She's got the big advantage size-wise on Hart. And Hart is called for the foul as Elward goes up for the deuce. Two free throws coming for the St. Francis All-American. Stephanie Hart is called for her first foul. Hart's a sophomore from Geneva. Started today's game, but she has not played big minutes. She's actually the team's leader in minutes played for the season. Elward misses on the first free throw. Today, though, Stephanie Hart, who has scored just 2 points, has been on the floor only about 18 minutes. Free throw good from Elward. That holds the trend steady. The Saints have made 1 of 2 every time at the line. Free throws have been an Achilles heel today as Lewis has not missed from the line. Final possession of the quarter for Lewis. Hart walks it to the right side. Throws it off to Williams, gets it back. 7 seconds left, it's Deja Black. Good ball movement, back to Hart. Deja Black steps in, passes to Hart at the buzzer. Three-pointers, no good. So Lewis distances themselves by 2 more points after the third quarter. They lead 56-41. I'll take a quick break. Back in a flash with the fourth quarter. Flyers by 15. Fourth quarter just about to get started here in Joliet, 56-41. Lewis leads St. Francis. The Flyers have led from the start of this one. They hit a three-pointer on their first possession. And they have not given up the lead since then. They've been up by double digits most of the time.
And her daughters, Samantha and Allie, on their upcoming induction into the Illinois Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame in April.
Just a quick announcement before the start of the fourth quarter here. You probably heard that one. A few of the Quigleys getting honored by the Illinois Basketball Association as we're back underway. Lewis in possession of the ball. It's Caitlin Williams for the Flyers, passing it up top. This is Katie Gardner. Deja Black. Black's been in foul trouble for much of the night. He's had trouble getting into a rhythm. Back on the floor now as Williams fires a long jumper and misses. Rebound goes to Jordan Pyle. Pyle pulls up, passes to the right. Hernandez to Alward. Had Glockchick in the air for a moment. Now she drives, forces it up, misses. Rebounded by Glockchick. Thrown ahead a little bit too far. Gieske nearly had the steal, but she wasn't quite prepared for that overthrow herself as she was getting back into defensive position and overran it. Here's Glockchick. Glockchick throws it away, and another chance for Gieske, and this time she can't miss the steal. So Gieske ends up with the steal after all, and now we'll see if the Saints can cut into this 15-point deficit. We've had a couple of stops to start the quarter. Allie Hernandez over to Jordan Pyle. Pyle gets the screen from Acosta. Now lobs it down low for Alward. Floats it up, no good. Rebound tipped over to Deja Black. Black hands it off to Stephanie Hart. Hart dribbles to the foul line, picks up her dribble and passes out to Black again. 10 seconds gone on the possession. Out to Caitlin Williams. 13 points for Williams in the first half. Hasn't scored so far in the second. Black underneath, fouled by Jordan Pyle. That's the second foul on Pyle. Minute 38 seconds into the fourth quarter. It's the first foul on the Saints. Rachel Hinders comes in for Morgan Glockchick. Gieske and Alward check out for the Saints. Lacey Gardner and Shadrian McDaniel are back in. Black makes the first free throw. Another made free throw for Lewis. They've not missed so far tonight. Second shot is good as well. 58-41. 17-point lead for Lewis. They've been up by as many as 18. Actually, they've been up by as many as 19. They've been up by 18 too, but 19's their biggest. Shadrian McDaniel around the screen from Gardner. Dribbles to the right, picks it up at the free throw line, passes out to Jordan Pyle. Pyle drives the lane. Pyle leans towards the hoop and lays it in. Great body control there by Jordan Pyle as she's got 8 points. Deja Black lobs it down low for Hinders through her hands and out of bounds. Turned over once again by Lewis. St. Francis down by 15, 7:45 to play. Allie Hernandez walks it to the right, guarded by Stephanie Hart. Around a screen to the left side. Hernandez kicks it out to Shadrian McDaniel. McDaniel to the corner, Hernandez. Out to Gardner. 10 seconds to shoot. Jordan Pyle gets the screen from Gardner. Drives to the right, cuts between two defenders, picks the ball back up, throws it off of Gardner and out of bounds. Off of Katie Gardner, that is. Jordan Pyle lost control for a second there, but St. Francis keeps the ball with 3 on the shot clock. Somebody's got to throw it in. And it's going to be Pyle. Pyle finally in position. And there's the inbounds play to Allie Hernandez. One dribble, long two. Off the front iron, no good, and an over the back call on Andriana Acosta.
St. Francis foul number 21, Andriana Acosta, her third, team second.
Strong looking possession there for St. Francis. They're not able to turn it into points in the end. Third foul on Acosta, who's got 7 points. Deja Black up top, three-pointer, no. Offensive rebound. Gardner pulled it in, gets it back out to Black, and Lewis resets. Black in some trouble. Trying to find help, gives it to Hart, deflected towards the half-court line, but kept on the right side of it by Hart. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Corner three, Gardner got it. As the buzzer sounds, St. Francis played 29 seconds of great defense there. But on the 30th second, Lewis gets the three. They're back up by 18. Here's McDaniel spinning inside. Layup, no. Rebounded by Katie Gardner. Gardner on the run. Into the corner. Deja Black pulls up. Black looking low. Goes up high instead to Hart. And Hart's pass inside draws a foul call. Gardner wrapped her arm around Rachel Hinders. Kaylin Alward is back in. And Lacey Gardner grabs the seat. 61-43, Lewis leads. 6:14 to play. Deja Black. Up to Caitlin Williams. Williams finds an open shooter. Gardner, not this time. Rebound for Acosta, and this time she's the one who's fouled. Deja Black is called for her fourth.
Deja Black, her fourth.
Leah Sims is back in for the Saints. We haven't seen much of her in the second half. Junior guard back on the floor right now with a couple of points scored today. Sims gets the screen from Alward. Kicks it outside to Pyle. Three-point attempt, misses. Rebounded by Alward. Back up. No, but a foul. Has not been a good shooting night for Caitlin Alward, but she's found her way to double figures scoring-wise again. She's got 11 points. Came into play today, averaging 18.5 per contest. Last time out against Judson, she scored only 9 points, but she played only 13 minutes. It was such a blowout. By the end of the first quarter, St. Francis was already up by 20. They just didn't need to keep Alward in there very long. Played 18 minutes, rather. Still a point every 2 minutes as she makes both free throws here. So for the first time today, Saints are able to go 2 of 2 from the line. Alward's up to 13. The deficit is 16. Williams walks into a double team, picks up the dribble, throws it up to Hinders. Now down low to a cutting Gardner, and Gardner misses on the reverse layup. Rebound to Ali Hernandez. Hernandez bounced ahead for Jordan Pyle. She pulls up, throws the ball away, deflection, but picked up by Acosta. The Saints keep the possession alive, 18 to shoot. Leah Sims cuts inside. Sims off the back iron, can't get the roll. Offensive rebound, Alward. Third chance of possession. Alward's foul. This is a game we have not seen very much of from Caitlin Alward lately. This is where she made her bones the first couple of years of her collegiate career. Banging hard inside, getting offensive rebounds, getting herself to the free throw line. This year she's become much more of an outside shooter as she misses on the first free throw. But her shot tonight has not been falling, so she's been doing well to get some more of the hustle stats. Rebounds and free throws. She's drawn a couple of fouls on the last few possessions. She hits 1 of 2 this time. 4 of 6 from the line today. 15-point game with just over 5 minutes to play. There's Grace Hilbert driving to the left side. She throws it out to Olmstead. Gardner bounces to the right side. Into the corner, Gardner three-point attempt, falls. Same spot she had a three-pointer from just a couple of moments ago. And likewise, wide open this time, and an easy three for her. She's got 6. Both, or all 6 I should say, have come on three-pointers, and both of those in the last 2 minutes of action. Pyle lost the ball for a moment, but it's picked back up by Acosta. Now Alward inside, off the glass, no, gets her own rebound, back up and in. Alward all of a sudden has 16 points, so she's right around her season average. 16 is the deficit. Hart dribbles it around in a circle and now passes out to Grace Hilber. Hilber with 15 on the shot clock. Fires down low and it's intercepted by Jordan Pyle. Saints get another takeaway. Alward walks into a three-pointer. No good, too strong. Rebounded by Grace Hilber. And a timeout is called by Lewis. 3:58 to play in the game. 16-point lead for Lewis. They have led the whole way. Up by 13 at the half, 15 at the end of the third quarter. They jumped out to that 10-0 lead in the first couple of minutes, and since then, they've crept away slowly but surely. They have not pulled away dramatically, only outscoring St. Francis by 6 points if you take away the first 3 minutes, first 2.5 minutes really. But they've not allowed St. Francis to go on any type of run. Saints have tried to chip away a few times, but it's just too hard if you don't have anybody who gets hot shooting-wise, and that's been the case for the Saints tonight. Nobody really has gotten hot. Caitlin Alward is the leading scorer for the season, averaging 18.5 per game. She's just shy of that today at 16. Nobody else on the team averages as many as 8 points. Today they've got 8 from both Paige Gieske and Jordan Pyle, tied for second on the team in scoring today. Glachik holds it on the left side for Lewis. Bounce down low to Hinders. Hinders working against Pyle, forces it up and in. Nice with the right hand there for Rachel Hinders. She's now hit her season average with 15 points. Leah Sims for the Fighting Saints. Finds Pyle in the corner. Pyle throws it down low for Alward, who's grabbed. Foul called before the pass. It's the 4th foul on Lewis. This one will not send Caitlin Alward to the free throw line. The second foul called on Rachel Hinders. Jordan Pyle is the inbounder. Up high to Caitlin Alward. Wanted the three. She puts it on the floor instead. Gets inside, up with the right hand. Does not get the roll. Rebound to Glachik. Hart down low to Hinders. All alone for 2. Jordan Pyle over pursuit on the pass. An easy layup for Hinders. The lead is 20 for Lewis. It's their biggest of the game. Caitlin Alward blocked out of bounds by Glachik. He wanted the foul there, not hearing any of it. Rhonda Mont, one of the 3 officials today, along with Robert Munson and Paul Novak. Both teams starting to clear the bench a little bit with under 3 minutes left in a game that appears to be out of hand now as Lewis has extended the lead to 20 points. Caitlin Alward checks out. Lacey Gardner is in. Inbounds pass goes to McDaniel, and McDaniel is blocked out of bounds. I think that was Ryan O'Garrick who blocked it. O'Garrick getting her first action of the game, along with Lindsay Harrison, freshman forward for Lewis. Pyle tosses it in to Gieske. Gieske sitting at 8 points. Kicks it out to Pyle. Pyle drives, fade away, no. And it's rebounded by Gardner, or rather Olmstead. Riley Olmstead fires it down low. Harrison, yes, and a foul. A good cheer from the bench as Lindsay Harrison comes up with her first 2 points of the night. She doesn't play often. Gets into a couple of minutes a game, usually late for Lewis, but when she does play, she's efficient. She's now 6 of 7 shooting for the season. Timeout called by St. Francis. They trail by 22. All of a sudden, the score looks an awful lot like it did last year when the Fighting Saints fell to the Flyers by a final of 70-43. Saints have shown themselves a little bit better tonight than they did in that game. A little bit better by the score. I think probably better to a more significant degree just in terms of the way they've played. They have not shot the ball well. Aside from that, they've been hanging in there with Lewis for much of the night. And it's really only these last couple of minutes in which they've really pulled away. Saints cut the deficit to 10. About 6.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Lewis went on an 11-2 run. Looked like the game was over. St. Francis answered with a 9-2 run of their own. They got themselves back within 12. And again, it seemed like St. Francis was going to make a run, but Lewis put a stop to it. And they've been in command ever since. After this one, St. Francis back in full swing. They've played just one game over the last 2.5 weeks. But starting today, they've got a stretch of 4 games in 10 days. The next 3 of them are all on the road. They're at Governor's State, back in conference action on Saturday. And even though today's game has been a disappointment for the Saints, they are 6-0 in conference play, one of just 2 unbeatens left in the CCAC as Harrison misses the free throw. First missed free throw of the game for the Flyers, and Shadrian McDaniel chases down the long rebound. 22-point game. Saints basketball. Sims, Pyle, McDaniel, Gardner, and Gieske are on the floor. Leah Sims tries her hand at a 3 and misses it. Rebound poked away from McDaniel out of bounds. And that one last touched by Ryan O'Garrick. Gieske and Pyle check out. So Paige Gieske comes up just shy of double figures. Would have been the 4th time in 5 games that she's done that. Josie Graffio is on along with Kaylin C.S. Cheney. McDaniel inbounds it to C.S. Cheney. She drives up with the left hand, too hard off the glass. Trying to get her own rebound. It's knocked away from her out of bounds. It stays with the Saints. And a sub for Lewis now, as they bring Kay Barth Lofton off the bench for the first time. Just her 4th appearance of the season. McDaniel bounces to Graffio, gives it inside to Gardner, and Gardner is fouled.
Lewis foul number 24.
Foul is called on Kay Barth Lofton. And Lacey Gardner makes the first free throw. First 2 points of the game for Gardner. She hits them both. 70-50 is our score. Maria Cruz Uceda is in for St. Francis, as is Justine Charlesworth. First time we've seen Charlesworth today, just for the final 2 minutes. She's been getting more significant playing time than this typically this season. Today she'll try to prove herself off the bench late, as both teams have removed all of their starters now. Rexisha Hollis is also in for St. Francis, and her 3-pointer goes for Lindsay Harrison. It's Harrison's first 3-pointer made this season. 73-50 is our score. Here's C.S. Cheney on the drive. Layup is good. Grace Hilber throws it inside, looking for Barth Lofton. Deflected, picked back up though by O'Garrick. O'Garrick gives it inside to Barth Lofton, and she misses. Here come the Saints. It's the first shot attempt, I believe, this season for Barth Lofton. There's a little cut from Justine Charlesworth, and she's able to lay it in. Good offense there for St. Francis. 19-point game. Hilber hands it off to Alyssa Streeter. O'Garrick step back, wanted the long 2, passes it up instead. Here's Hilber for 3, short. Rebound knocked around towards the baseline and out of bounds. Last touched by O'Garrick. 38.3 showing on the clock. St. Francis trying to make this one look a little bit better over the final minute. Graffio out to Charlesworth. Here's Rexisha Hollis trying a deep 3. She misses, rebound tipped and brought in by Charlesworth. Another chance here for the Saints. Step back 2-pointer for C.S. Cheney. That's short. Rebound goes to O'Garrick. O'Garrick slows it down at the 3-point line. Nice crossover on C.S. Cheney. Pass out to Barth Lofton. Deflected. Gets around the defender and lays it in. There are her first 2 points of the season. Kay Barth Lofton, the freshman from St. Paul, Minnesota, as Maria Cruz Uceda misses the 3 at the buzzer. And our final is 75-54 Lewis. So Lewis takes this battle for the 3rd consecutive year. A game that was maybe a little bit closer than the score would indicate, 21-point final, although the Saints never really made a close game of it. They were down by double digits for the entire second half. They didn't allow Lewis to pull away, though, until the 4th quarter, when a game that had been about 10 to 13 points as a deficit suddenly ballooned to the 20-point mark, and Lewis was able to cruise from that point on. So the Flyers do come away with the victory. The 4-4, now 5-4 Lewis Flyers will return to Division II action next week. They play again on Wednesday of next week, their next contest for St. Francis. They'll be going pretty consistently over the next week. Games on Saturday, Tuesday, and then Saturday again. So they play 4 games in a 10-day span. The run does not start off the way they wanted it to, but they'll be back in NAIA action for the next 3, and 2 of those 3 will be conference games, all of them on the road. Our next broadcast for St. Francis women's basketball, December 30th. They'll be at home against Bethel at 3 o'clock on Monday, December 30th. So hopefully you're with us for that. Our next broadcast of any type of St. Francis basketball coming up in about a half hour. St. Francis men take on the Lewis men at 7 o'clock this evening. So hopefully you're back with us for that. Again, our final score, 75-54 in favor of the Flyers. That's going to do it for this one. Until next time, Terry Bonadonna signing off for the moment, but we'll be back in a half hour as the St. Francis men try to make it a split between these 2 schools today.